And we're back. Welcome to the Cavalry. Oh, I'm very excited for this week's episode. We have a great guest, a good friend of mine, very funny comedian from Seattle, Monica Nevi. What's up, Monica?
Oh, hey, what's up? Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. Thanks for doing it.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, it took you a while.
Monica has her own podcast, which is great, and she has a good, like you're hearing her now. You're like, oh, last time you guys have guests, and they sound like they're a hostage under a bed somewhere. It's like, no, Monica has like a good microphone.
She's our first professional guest.
Yes, and last week we did our first episode where Johnny and I were in the same room. I was in Wisconsin.
Oh,
and our audio has never been worse.
I know.
So
you set up the tin cans. I don't know how it didn't work.
I don't know what went wrong, but anyway, thank you, Monica, for doing it. How are you doing?
Good. Things are busy again, kind of getting back to normal on the road a lot, and yeah, doing my other podcast and stuff. So same as you guys.
What's the podcast called?
It's called Dumb Pitches, and the tagline is, I talk to successful people about their worst ideas. So it's in a lot of comics too. And not that comics aren't successful anyways. And then they tell us bad ideas that they've had. We have had everything from business ideas, script ideas, to personal relationships, getting arrested, like all these different things. And so it's been really fun. And then at the end of the year, which I'm sure we'll do again this year, we did what I called the dummies. So we let people vote for their favorite in each category. It's like worst website, worst personal decision, worst business plan, whatever. And then gave them fake awards. So it's really fun.
Nice. Sounds great. And I feel like it's ironic because the podcast Johnny and I are doing right now is our worst idea.
I was going to say, I'm going to have you on, but if we're both going to talk about this podcast.
Have us on together and we'll just talk about the podcast.
We'll both be like, you know what you shouldn't do. No.
But we haven't given up on it.
No.
It's consistency is key,
Yeah, that's what they say. But yeah, this is great. Thanks for doing this show. You were right. Things are like getting back. I feel it too, like normal, like the masks. This is the first week in Oregon where there's no masks, or at least they're not required anymore. But then I was reading this article my wife Heidi was sharing with me. They check the wastewater, so now they know when cases are going to go up from the sewage. Like they can tell how much COVID's in the sewage. It's like in the shit,
poop and pee?
In the poop. Yes, Johnny,
like
sorry.
You shit it out, yeah.
Let me
in the
sorry.
poop and pee.
Hang on for a second, Monica.
Who ordered a scientist?
In the poopy and the pee-pee, Johnny, they can tell how much COVID cumulatively is in like a neighborhood, and that they're like, oh, that's going up. So then pretty soon cases are going. So it's like, I feel like everyone should just enjoy the shit out of your life for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
When it's going to pop off.
Oh my gosh. Wouldn't that suck to be the guy that has to go in the sewers and get it?
and it's COVID too.
I like that you said get it, like he scoops it out and takes it with him. He's like, I got it all.
He brings it back to the lab. All right, guys.
This is how much COVID I found in there.
Guys, I've done it the last 6 times. I'm a scientist. I did not sign up.
They're like, we know that being a scientist means nothing anymore, so you're going to have to get in there.
Right.
You're the shittiest scientist. You suck at this the most, so you have to go get the
poo-poo and the pee-pee
and bring it in. All right. I brought it down. I brought it down immediately to that.
I just spelled it out.
Oh man, but you've been back on the road a lot, Monica. You're there's no restriction. I mean, it's funny, like, because we talk about it in the Northwest, like it's still, but you go anywhere else, they're like,
yeah. I was just in Arkansas. I just did Little Rock this last week, and they didn't give a shit. Yeah, of course. Yeah, thanks for going.
Has come up on this podcast a couple times.
Has it? Oh, perfect.
Oh yeah, I forget all the different Looney Bin. They're all condo related, I feel like.
I bet. I would bet that.
How is it these days?
That one in Little Rock isn't that bad because it's a whole house and there's like separate areas and stuff, which
There's
was
walls,
nice.
there's a roof.
There's not the back office that has been turned into an apartment or whatever that they got going on in Wichita. Is that Wichita? Yeah.
Oh yeah. No windows.
With
You don't
no
know what the
windows.
window
Yeah.
is.
That's the last time I worked that one, actually, because there's a story, which I'm sure has come up on here, that it's haunted, right? In the headliners
don't know.
area. Oh, no, good. I'll tell you. In the headliners room, in the bathroom there's a story that they had like ghost hunters, one of those shows, come in and like test it. And there's like a ghost that chills on the back of the toilet in the headliner's bathroom. And the last time I was there, the headliner like refused to stay in there and went and got his own hotel because he didn't want to, like, the story had freaked him out so much.
That
Oh my
is-
god, that's hilarious.
That is hilarious. And it's like, it's funny that it's the ghost. Like, as a headliner, you're like, hey, I would stay in this cinder block piece of shit, disgusting condo, but I'm scared of ghosts.
With
so I'm
no
gonna
windows. But now
stand
there's
up
a
for
ghost.
myself and get my own hotel room. Like, that's what it takes to push us to dignity.
And my other favorite part was he was like, well, I have points. Like, if he
Oh,
did
yeah.
have to pay it for it himself, he wouldn't have done
Yeah.
it. But it's like, I have
That's the
points.
ultimate when a comic is embarrassed to do a gig. Like, do you ever take a gig and then someone's like, wow, because they know what the money is,
And
they know
they've
the
turned
whole-
it down themselves.
and they've turned it down because it's too far, and then you have to go, oh yeah, but I got miles, so you have to
I got
apologize.
family there. I got family, so it's
I
kind
Yeah.
of visit.
I'll do well on merch. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I'll do well with
Yeah.
merch. There's some kids there I haven't seen in 3 years, so I figure I should go visit my kids.
I'm like, no, I'm gonna make $100 if I'm lucky, and that's fine. Just fucking.
I mean, like, what else am I gonna do? Just sit at home, not do comedy at a loss? The Ghost Hunter thing is so funny. I did this gig. Have you done this gig in what is it called? Not Port Angeles or Port Townsend? Port Townsend, maybe.
Is it in
Simon
No.
Kaufman gig?
Yeah, I'm
and
booked
it's in like
there.
a haunted castle.
I'm booked there in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, so literally,
But he's told me about it.
Yeah, it's nice, but when we were checking in, they gave us the whole thing that's haunted or whatever, and then there was a ghost hunter guy. There was no cameras around, so he was just doing
He's just
it.
hunting.
He's just doing it legitimately, just hunting for sport. He wasn't doing it for TV, and he had his kit, and he was talking about it, and he was on the phone, like talking with someone about like an associate, you know, and he just took it so seriously, and I was just like laughing to I was like, how do you just walk around all day, you know, by yourself, ghost
Looking for
hunting, not
ghosts.
just going, what am I doing?
I guess I don't understand how you would make money doing that, but that maybe it's just a hobby.
Maybe the
But-
hotel is just really dumb, and they're like, we have to pay every week.
You gotta hire
We
this
are riddled with ghosts. If we don't pay this guy, we got
He
ghosts
says he
coming
gets
out of our
rid
ears.
of them, so
Yeah.
Yeah, we
He's
haven't
like,
had complaints since we started.
yeah, I
hiring
found
him.
one, but you guys are
Yeah.
lucky I was able to get him out of here. So
Yeah,
that's
preventative ghost hunting. It's cheaper than going in after the fact.
So-
yeah.
well, good. I'll have that to look forward to then. I'll look
Yeah,
forward.
yeah. Look out for ghosts. I would say, and don't let anyone bother you about the ferry cost to what you're getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Okay.
Don't let anyone bully you. It's a fun gig. Oh man.
Oh.
But this is what we call pre-show banter, Monica. We haven't gotten into the real meat of the program
Oh, perfect.
yet. Don't worry. We're gonna get to it. But you know what we're doing here, right? You know that we try to back each other up on topics.
Yes.
So did you have anything? Wait, before I ask you, Johnny, did you have anything you really wanted to address in the pre-show before? Because sometimes I jump into the good stuff too early.
You're not gonna comment on my mug?
Oh shit!
Oh,
Sorry.
I thought we were all just taking drinks at the same time. I didn't even notice
were
it.
just
It's my third time doing it, and Andrew
I was like,
doesn't.
Johnny is thirsty. Why does he keep?
Feel
Why does he
dehydrated.
keep looking at the camera while?
Oh,
he's
Johnny has
cool.
a beautiful Cavalry mug. Where did
That's
you
right.
get that?
Every time Sticker Mule has a promotion, Johnny
Nice.
gets whatever merch they're offering.
We have Johnny's house. I got to go to Johnny's house last week, his basement is just covered in Cavalry merch. And
Nice.
It's all
Cavalry
like the one
blankets,
free
Cavalry
item.
pillows.
Yeah. What do you name it?
So you just order it for yourself, or does anybody else?
Yeah, I'm
get
not going to
it?
give it to a listener.
I'm not gonna give it away.
Okay, if I already
You
have
can
something,
sell it,
maybe
but
I'll,
you know,
I'll
okay.
mail it to Andrew. But
Yeah, that's the only merch. Only
It's
for this
the
podcast
one.
only goes back and forth from Johnny and I's house. That's how we. I have stickers, and I'm embarrassed to give them out because they're so small. I don't know if you've ever made that mistake, but like
yeah.
I ordered them so tiny that it's like
Yeah.
it's too embarrassing. I can't give them to
I
anybody.
like it because I got rid of all those quick because I would like my pitch would just be making fun of you and throwing you under the bus, so it would get a laugh, and then people would be like, "Oh, I want one of those stickers." And now all I have left are like regular size ones, so I'm like, shamelessly, please take a sticker. Listen to my podcast. There's no joke. Just please support our
Just
podcast.
please take this.
It's nice to be able to roast you as part of my pitch.
I have never had a good merch pitch. I've never had good merch, first of all. But
That
I've
makes it harder.
yeah, makes it way harder. But secondly, I've never had like that good because I've like sold t-shirts at one point, which was just it wasn't a joke shirt, it's just like my album cover on the shirt. And then I'm selling DVDs now.
Now?
Yeah, now. Yeah. I picked
Just
this
getting into the
moment.
DVD game.
I'm analyzing the wastewater, and I feel like DVDs are about to have they're about to jump.
They're going to be the new vinyl.
No, but like Johnny said, like Johnny does that with music, but like you just stream things. They can take it away from you whenever they want. You know, you think you own a movie because you have it on Amazon. You don't own it. Amazon
That's
could
true.
just take it away from DVDs.
DVDs. that come
I'm
out.
not
Come
here.
and get it.
I'm not here to defend DVDs, but I am. No, but I've never.
I don't know
had a
why you're
good-
embarrassed of that. I'm selling CDs.
Oh yeah, but CD players are in cars still, right? Are they?
Old
Yeah.
ones.
Some of them.
I don't know.
That's actually part of my current pitch is that I don't have CDs because I don't know where you put them. And it does get like a little bit of a laugh, but I have the little like download cards for my albums. So
Okay,
Oh,
now
no.
that's interesting
Nice.
because I had on my old album I had those download cards, and then the company, I think it's called CD Baby, stopped producing them because they're like, even these are bullshit. You know, they were like, we can't because people just stream, can go get it
Yeah.
on whatever.
I have
streaming.
people come up after shows and go, well, can I just find it online? And I go, well, yeah, if you don't want me to get any money from it. So then-
That's when you go, no.
these are show exclusives.
They're like, could I just physically overtake you and take one of those? Would I-
Absolutely.
is
How
there a
many
way-
people with like the stickers, or I sold magnets for a little bit. Not that I stole the stickers, sold the stickers, but like the cards are so small too that they'll just like grab one on the way out like it's a flyer, and I'm like, fuck. Like,
Yeah.
there that one goes. God damn it. I'm not gonna stop him. Like I don't
No.
care.
Right.
But yeah, do you have a good merch pitch?
Kind of right now because I have two albums. One is a stand-up album, and the other one is a guided meditation album. But it's like
Oh.
it's not it's comedic guided meditation is how I refer to it. It's like dirty basically, and I just have a better way of pitching that one because I have to like tell people what it is because it's confusing, and
Right.
I sell way more of that one because of it. Like I just pitch it better so people will buy the meditation one even if I'm in wherever, Little Rock or somewhere where nobody meditates, I'm assuming. They still, yeah, it just is a better pitch. And then I've
Yep.
had like, I sold underwear for a long time, and that pretty much like pitches itself. There's a joke on it, obviously, but it, yeah,
Not obviously. I was just talking to somebody. I was Joe
selling
Larson,
their underwear.
and he was like, he worked with some dude who would just go before every gig. He would go to Walmart and buy like packs of socks and underwear, and just sell them at like a profit, margin, whatever. And he's like, people just always need like good new socks and underwear. And the guy cleaned up, and you're like, yeah, that's
Yeah,
way more of
Does
a
he have
service.
pitch or a joke, or is he just like?
I don't know.
That's
Probably not.
hilarious.
Probably the joke is probably just what that is. Like, hey,
Yeah, really.
I'm a road feature, and
If you need
You know.
eggs, I stopped at Pick and Save. So
and I figured I'd pick you
Yes.
guys up some. We can write the act right now.
Yeah.
I figured while I'm here, they had 3 for 1 or whatever.
I wanted to give you something you would use. Everyone
Yeah.
needs underwear. Here you go.
You can write a joke on it if you want. If you,
Yeah,
if you had a favorite joke here tonight, put it on your socks. I don't give a shit, but just buy them.
I've
Here's
heard
the
a lot.
marker.
I've heard a lot of people have that with the t-shirts. They'll be like, I have t-shirts. And they'll be like, it doesn't say anything. You could just put whatever you want on it. And they're like, just kidding. It has a joke. So that I think that's funnier that you'd
It's
be
the-
like,
Yeah, the
here's
actual,
underwear. And they're like, okay, what's the deal? And you're like, nope, seriously, it's just underwear.
Yeah, this is just. And then there was this guy named Tom Dustin out of Boston. Do you know him, Johnny?
Nah, the name's not
Okay,
familiar.
Monica,
no.
maybe. I don't know, but anyway, he's a super funny guy. He was like kind of like he's been around for a while. When I was in Boston, he was already like established as one of the guys,
Mm.
But he would sell, he would sell fire wallets,
Oh, yeah,
which
you
were
told
just wallets that you open and then like a light comes up, like a lighter. But so it was like a fire wallet, So it's like you didn't have to carry a lighter around. But there was no bit. He just found them at the flea market and thought they were cool. And he would sell these things like lines. There were more people buying the wallets than were at the show. Like and I don't even know how it's possible. But he would just be like, couldn't bring enough.
People
with
are
him.
coming in off the street to get these.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I've seen magicians sell those. It's just funny that a comic's like, hey, I have them too.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. I think he probably got them where the magicians, maybe there's like an outlet store.
I was like, why would you even need that? Why would that even exist? But I guess if you're a magician.
Wow.
Yeah, or if you're just like a person who wants to look cool once in front of your
seems like-
friends.
That seems like such an impulse buy. Like, oh, that sounds cool. But in reality, how annoying. What the fuck am I going to do with a wallet that starts a fire every time I open it?
I know. Does your money burn?
Well, it doesn't start a fire. It's a controlled flame. It's not like an arson wallet. It's not like you
I
open
know,
it.
but every time, that'll be $8.50. Hang on. Oh, shit. I forgot. Hang on,
Johnny's
hang on.
super irresponsible with open flames. That's what he does.
At the gas station.
Johnny's like, well, time to use my WD-40 and pay for this gum at the same time. Oh my God! No, but wait, what was the question? I don't remember. Oh, you know what I was thinking about is the airplane. Wait, can you just take a lighter on a plane? Is that illegal? This TSA? I'm not a lighter person. I've never. Had a
I
lighter.
have them. I definitely still have them in my bag, and they've never taken them out. But I didn't. It's on the list of things.
But
I
they
don't know
don't-
if it's.
Just
They
look
don't
for
ever
it.
notice. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
Because
think
I was
you're
thinking
not
that would be
supposed to, but
that would be annoying if your wallet kept getting flagged.
your wallet.
Here.
When you'd go to
Super
show them your ID and the fire starts in the airport.
I'm an X-Man. I can't help it. Yeah. We should get some. Well, no, we do have good Cavalry merch, but we should just buy it in quantities of more than one.
I was gonna say Johnny has good cavalry merch, but you could spread it around.
No, we have a level to the Patreon where you get the shirt, but
Yeah.
it's it's asking a lot because it's like you have to be the top level for like
Yeah.
3.
You have to
it's
be really supportive of
It
us.
ends up being an expensive shirt.
I see.
It's not a good deal, folks. If
Well,
you're
but
listening, to this,
but you get the Patreon content and
oh yeah,
acknowledge.
It's not just the shirt. They're like, if I
Yeah, it's
wait
not
long
just the
enough,
shirt.
I'll get a shirt.
We did, yeah, and the hat that he's wearing, I think that's like one of 4 in existence, 1 or 4 or 5.
I know it's a good hat too. It's a quality hat. That's why I wear it, not for the
EU,
stupid-
Mike Coles, and I think that's it. Those are the only people, and I have
3.
2, and that's the only
Oh,
people that
that's
have.
why there's 4.
Yes.
So I got a maroon one too, in case I wanted a maroon one.
Johnny's living in the warehouse, the Cavalry merch warehouse. Oh boy! All right, should we get
All right.
into it?
That was pre-show banter.
That's pretty good
Okay.
pre-show banner.
I think that was good.
So Monica, do you have anything you need backup on?
Yes. and I feel like it's. Well, I have a couple of thoughts. I had a couple of thoughts at least.
Great.
One
Discussion
I think
points?
is going to be together.
Could you call them discussion points?
Sure, yeah. So I think
that's a
total I
segment.
have 3 discussion points,
Oh, excellent.
but 2 of them I think might go well together. I think it's ridiculous that people get upset when their drink isn't cold. I prefer a room temperature anything. And I know that's upsetting for some people, but like even beer or a carbonated beverage, I
Whoa.
still prefer it room temperature. And I think it's ridiculous when someone won't drink something because it is not super cold.
This is very European of you.
Yeah,
That's
what
what they
it
do
is.
in England. They're like shocked by ice.
Yeah.
They don't
Maybe
serve drinks cold at all there.
No, well, I mean, I think they do sometimes, but like it's definitely like more of a luxury. Like if you're like on a plane in Europe, they wouldn't like give you a cup of ice or anything with your Coke, or like if you're at a cafe that you would get a room temperature, water rather than like they don't have like the refrigerated everything there.
Okay. So how did this come to be? This is very unique to me. This is very unique.
Oh, you're gonna get some
how did this come to
pushback
be
here.
for me or just
I just want to
general?
clarify. No, yeah, for
Okay.
you.
Honestly, I drink slowly anyways. And when it's cold, it is way slower. And so I just prefer a warm, there's a lot of arguments that it's like better for you because your body absorbs warmer stuff faster, but that's not why I choose to do it. I just prefer it that way. And the reason it's starting to bother me is that every single time it comes up, like I was at a club not that long ago, and the owner was like, "Do you want a water?" I was like, "Sure." And he's like, "I have some just in the case, but I can get a cold one." And I was like, "Oh no, I prefer it from the case." And he was like, "What? What's wrong with you?" Like people get so upset when I'm like, "I don't want a cold one." Actually, one of the first times I like really hung out with my now fiance, like we were dating, but we weren't, we didn't live together or anything, whatever. And we like kind of took a trip with some of her friends, and we were drinking. It was like 4th of July. So there was like a lot of drinking going on. And every time she would go to the fridge for anything, she would take a beer out and put it on top of the fridge for me. And it was really sweet. But then by the end of the weekend, there was like 30 beers on top of this fridge, because anytime she opened it, she would take one out and put it out there. And everybody's like, "What the fuck? Why are all these beers on top of the fridge?"
Weird OCD thing.
Yeah, it was weird.
What
And
is
I
wrong?
wasn't going to drink 30 of them, but
So
But she did.
But even beer, you
that's
prefer,
what upsets people the most.
Yeah.
Is that,
that's a tough one. They're literally called cold ones.
supposed
That's
to have
the
a back
name.
here.
That's the name of the beers. What about when? Okay, now we're supposed to support you, so I'm trying to think of a way.
I know.
to
I'm
do this.
I'm trying to wrap my head around.
I mean,
this.
if you wanted me to argue with you about it instead.
I know I'm not going to argue with you, but I have one.
Are you both like strictly cold? That's all.
No, in
no?
fact,
Okay.
I can get there with you on tap water, like just regular water.
Okay.
I don't need ice water. I just like a nice glass of water that can be cold. It can be, like room temperature water, no problem.
Okay.
But
Water's
like
easy.
Diet Coke or a beer, I'm for sure want it to be like cold.
Okay.
But that's just me. I'm not fighting you on it. But I have a question. So like, what about when you work out and you're like super
That's what I was
thirsty?
gonna say. Yeah,
like a
you come in
Gatorade.
hot day.
Yeah, like you just played soccer and you're 8 years old. Or like,
I wonder when it started, because I don't remember being particular about it as a kid. But now, like, because I run most days, and I just leave my water bottle.
Runner. Oh, we'll talk. It's when I shoehorn running into.
oh yeah, because Johnny runs like 13 miles a day, and he never shuts up about it.
Doing that, yeah, that's not what's happening here. I just get a mile or two in, and sometimes I'm walking.
So you run a mile or two. You're exhausted.
But I have my water bottle. I leave it in the car so that it's just whatever temperature it is outside. And that way, when I'm done, because I do, when you're, even especially you played soccer as an 8-year-old, you got that weird like breathing thing going on. If it's too cold, then I can't get it down as fast. So it's helpful that it's warm. I played basketball in college. I left everything out next to the bench. I didn't put it in the fridge or anything.
That's true. You can drink stuff faster. That's very frat guy energy with beer, though.
Guy logic.
It's like, no, man. You got to have it warm so you can chug it.
That is the problem with beers, though, especially like my family drinks Bud Light. Bud Light is fine if it's room temperature. It doesn't get too foamy, but anything like more microbrew-y gets very foamy when it's warmer.
Yeah.
It's tough. That's tough. It's so I'll open an IPA and then it's like spewing out the top already because it's just warmer. I don't know.
Yeah.
There are obstacles here, but this is just the situation.
No,
we're in.
you've chosen.
Go ahead.
You've chosen a difficult life.
I know. I didn't realize it was going to be that difficult.
You've
so
been othered from the community.
I guess so.
Because of
And the
your
first
beverage
one where you're
choice.
like, we just can't back you up on this. I'm sorry.
No,
The first, definitely not.
you're not the first. You're not the first. And also, I'm with you on water for sure.
Okay.
Water, don't need. In fact, I can, and I'm even with you. You kind of convinced me about like working out and then getting like really cold water doesn't work because you can't
Yeah.
drink it very fast.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm not trying to be condescending here. Let's say you go for a long run or whatever you do, and then you're like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. I'm so hot sun. Oh, there's a swimming pool. It would be so nice to jump in that. Do you want the water to be cold to jump into, or do you want it to just be room temperature in the pool?
I mean, honestly, probably room temperature. I'm not. Maybe that's just a general thing. I just don't like to be cold.
Yeah. Did you have a traumatic?
Inside out? I don't know.
Were you like trapped in an igloo as a child, and then now you're scared of cold?
I just hate being cold. Maybe that's it. I don't. Yeah, I actually really love swimming, and from the Northwest, the water doesn't scare me in any way. But if it's too cold, I won't get in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like jumping in cold water but I mean, like on a hot day,
hot, right.
And it's just like, that's so refreshing.
I think I'm not saying that wouldn't also be refreshing. I just think I would prefer
Okay.
a room temperature.
But see, that
which
I'm
doesn't
kind
mean
of-
it's warm. It's not like a hot tub or
Yeah,
anything, right? So
But like with a pool, anything is colder than your current. It's just by the nature of it being water. It's going to be colder than so it's always going to feel good. So I'm with Monica on that. I don't want to jump into like a freezing cold.
I never said free. Whoa. I didn't say free.
But no, Johnny, when you were asking that question, you're like, look, I don't want to be condescending. I really thought you were going to go, now what if it's like a hot day and you got a beer? Don't you want it to be ice cold? Just like keep asking the same question. But, okay, but what if it's like a Thursday?
Well, and I
you just
do-
worked.
this is good that I want to clarify that it is not a warm thing. Like I don't want it to be warm.
Right,
I just
right,
want it
right.
to be room
Out.
temperature. Yeah. Just
So
not
how
cold.
how long will you like if you go to a bar, right, and you order a
Mhm.
Bud Light
Mhm.
and you get it out of the tap, it's going to be cold. And if you get a bottle, they're probably going to pull it out of a fridge. It's going to be
Right.
cold. So will you wait, or do you ask them for like, do you have one in the back that's not been refrigerated?
I
You
have
call it in. You tell
lots
them
of
to put it on
times.
the bar.
Hey, could you set the beer on
You're
the
like,
bar for me?
By the way,
I'll be there in an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Americans with Disabilities Act requires you to have warm Bud Lights. I don't know if you're aware of this.
Oh god. I will start to drink it if it's like obviously they're going to give you a cold one, or if it comes out of the tap, it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
We'll start to drink it, but I just drink it slower, even still. So then by halfway, pretty much every time it's already. I put ice in this, but it's already melted because I drink slow. I don't know. Maybe that's why I just prefer it, because that's just what ends up happening anyways.
Wait a minute. This whole time you put ice in your water?
This isn't water, but
Oh.
it's I put like 2 in, and that's wise because it's gin and soda. And so I wanted to water it down a little bit, knowing that it would melt. But I only put 2 ice cubes in.
But that's just to water it down, not for cooling purposes. Okay.
Right. Yeah, don't try to call me out on this.
Yeah, I hate cola as you're drinking.
As it's just for ice. Yeah.
No, I apologize, but just then it feels like a betrayal. I wouldn't even think you have ice.
I mean,
like, you don't have to make up fake topics. We can see the ice in your drink.
And of all things, clearly one of the more ridiculous ones you have to help with. I bet there's other people out there that do feel similarly, and I want them to know that you don't have to be embarrassed by it.
Yeah, I think I'm with Andrew as far as I'm not going to shame you. I don't think people should shame you. I can't get behind I can't get behind room temperature soda or beer. I've done it. But I don't think, if you like it, I don't think people should be like, what the fuck?
I think that's what it's more about, is that there's this shaming of like,
how does it affect them? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you don't have to drink it. God.
Exactly.
Well, and also to get to what you actually originally needed backup on, 100% I'm with you. I have never and will never in my life send a beverage back because of temperature.
Yeah.
So like if you bring me a soda or a beer and it's like not cold enough, you have to be really insane to send it back and ask for a colder beverage.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So I'm with you on that.
I've had people, because oftentimes bartenders, I'll be like, oh, can I have a Bud Light? And they just have it in the bottle, right? And they're like, oh, I just put those in the fridge, so they're probably not cold. And I'm like, that's totally fine. But I'm assuming there's somebody that's like, okay, well, then let me get something else because it's not cold enough yet. I mean, I don't know.
But I might do that. That I think is different. That's not sending it back. That's just taking the bartender's lead. Like it's almost like they're telling you probably don't want this. So I think that's kind of following their lead. But like if a server brings you a thing and you send it back, there's I think Johnny's the same way, but like such a high threshold for being able to actually send something back.
Yeah.
Whether it's food or a drink. So and it's like almost impossible to do tactfully.
Yeah.
You know? How do you I'm just thinking because my mom got a margarita a couple weeks ago in Portland here, and it was bad. It was really, the first one was great, and then the next one it was like a different bartender or something, and it was really bad. It was just really bad. So she was like, "Well, it was like $13. I want to enjoy it." And so she like tried to send it back, but there's just the server took it personally. Like as nice as you can say it.
Do you know who I am at any point?
No, she's like, my name is literally Karen. You might want to be careful. But yeah. And then they sent it, they like put more like, someone just poured more, I don't know what in it. And it was like still bad. And then you're just stuck. But yeah. There's no good way to do it. Like if I was a waiter and someone's like, this beer isn't cold enough, I would be like, all right, you're never going to see me again. And I just wait 20 minutes before I brought him a cold beer. But yeah. So,
well, that's it. I don't ever send anything back or complain about anything really ever, especially at a restaurant. Like it's been bad. I like clams a lot. And so I ordered some steamer clams in Kennewick, Washington. And it was like had a whole broth. It was like a lot of water and it tasted like dishwater. And then I just ate the whole thing. I just didn't say anything and I just ate it all.
I love that. And that's exactly what I would do.
That's up my alley.
And then Monica, do they ever make this joke to you where they're like, this is the thing, because I eat a lot and I eat quickly. That's like one of my problems, but I eat too fast. And so they'll come by and then like I'll be done first 100% of the time, whoever I'm eating with, doesn't matter. And then like they'll come by like, oh, look like somebody hated it, or do whatever that joke is.
Like this doesn't
and then
mean
I'm like,
that I'd like
what?
Or dislike
it means nothing. I would eat. This could be dog shit, and I would have eaten it just as fast. Okay, so don't pat yourself on the back because I'm just a pig and I eat whatever's in
It's
front of
nothing
me.
to do with your food.
It has nothing to do with your chef or how you prepared it.
Yeah. Don't flatter yourself.
Yeah.
Well, that same time, the waitress comes up at some point and is like, "Is it good?" And I'm like, "Uh-huh." Like, it was horrible. And I'm just like, "Yeah, everything's great. Thank
I
you
mean,
so
what
much."
do you have to gain at that point by telling them, Like,
Yeah.
actually, this
Yeah.
tastes awful.
That's like
This
when you're at
tastes
the
awful.
checkout.
And then they would have been like, "Why did you eat it?" And I've been like, "You know what? It's a personal flaw and it has nothing to do with you." So
Yeah, I'm insecure. It's like when you're at the checkout and they're like, "Oh, did you find everything okay?" No, I couldn't find this. Oh, well, I'm not going to go get it for you,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Or no, it took me 20 minutes to find this one type of cheese that was in front of my face, but that's not. Did you really need to know that? No.
Yeah. Yeah, I found everything, but I wouldn't say I found it okay. I
Yeah,
did a lot of extra laps.
Yeah.
Did you see me out there? I was
I got
confused.
my steps in,
I also love
I've been here 45 minutes. No, I didn't find it okay.
Monica's like your favorite meal or whatever. Like, it sounds so gross, but you're like, there's nothing better than a warm Bud Light and some clams.
Honestly,
you really
that
wanna-
sounds
After
great.
a nice run.
You really want to take me out for a nice night? Warm Bud Light
So
and some
room
clams.
temperature Bud Light.
Sounds like a
and some
prank.
clams. It does.
No, room temperature. That's right.
It's
not
like if
warm.
you lose your fantasy football league or something, that's what you have to eat.
Yeah, the punishment. I saw a funny fantasy football league. Johnny's not a big sports guy, so we have to walk him through
sorry.
this.
Unless
But,
it's running. But
You know about fantasy leagues, of course, Johnny. And what's common is if you come in last place, you have to do a prank bad thing, or like whatever, like a punishment. So one I saw recently, I thought this one was creative. Was you had to get super high and then go take the SATs, but then like be around like all these high school kids as an adult and like struggle with the SATs. Sounded like torture to me. So.
that's hilarious. In my fantasy basketball league, we picked the most ridiculous NBA pregame outfit, and then whoever
that's
loses
good.
has to wear that to a bar.
That's pretty good.
And I argued this year that I look pretty good in a fedora, so I don't think I'll be losing. But
That is the word. I think it's all like Russell Westbrook based, right? Like
oh yeah, well
kinda
there's this really long sleeved sweaters that are popular right
Yeah,
now. There's
or
been a
the
couple
short-
of players wearing those.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
the short pants seem bad to me, but okay. Well, you said you kind of had like one that was that one of the ones that tied in with another
Well,
one?
I was gonna say, I mean, yes, that is the one that was gonna tie in with another one. I guess, how do you feel about gin? Because I never drank gin really before, and everyone always says it tastes like pine trees, but
Mhm.
I turned 32 a couple weeks ago, and I feel like I'm entering my gin years, and I don't think it tastes like pine trees. So I'm actually kind of getting into it. So I like a room temperature gin.
And some clams.
Yeah, and some clams.
Gin with what? Nothing?
I'm doing gin and soda. A lot of people like tonic, but I don't really like tonic. But you can drink tonic with it. That's totally fine as long as it's room temperature.
That's hilarious. So
Just how do you feel about gin, I guess, is my question.
I've not been a gin guy in a long time. When I was in college, or no, it was when I was right after college, when I was working at the radio station, I got into gin and sodas.
Okay.
And with a lot of lime, though. I'd squeeze like a ton of lime into it. And I loved it. I thought it was like super light. I hate vodka. I'm not a big vodka guy. And so it was like a good alternative. And then it's like you can drink a lot of them without getting too heavy,
Yeah.
And so I'm with you. I like
Okay.
gin. It's funny. I'm now 37 years old. Now I'm definitely in my like whiskey days. I feel like that's like
I know it's a weird. I feel like I'll go back to whiskey because I went vodka in college and then whiskey afterwards, and then now I get heartburn pretty easily from the whiskey. So gin, it turns out, is I don't really get hangovers either. from it. Like whiskey started, or wine. Like if I have 2 glasses of wine, then I'll have a hangover, which is stupid. But so
Yeah.
now with gin, I can have
Well,
3 and feel fine.
I don't know.
You're right with the lightness of it, though.
It
It
is
feels.
very. But you don't see. I would drink them. I would definitely drink them on ice too and cold. So that's another. But I like the soda water. It's like
Yeah.
I don't like tonic either. Tonic tastes weird to me.
Yeah. Maybe that's why so many people don't like the taste of gin, because it's always associated with tonic, and maybe it's the tonic that's actually ruining it for them.
Or like have you ever had diet tonic?
Yes.
Yeah, it's gross.
No.
I'll have a gin and tonic. I don't know. I'm in my early 40s. I feel like I'm in my White Claw years. Hey,
No,
I'll have a gin and tonic now, and it's fine. I normally don't have it very often, but like I couldn't do gin for a long time because when I was in high school, like I wasn't one of the partiers or whatever, but like when I'd have a friend spend the night and we'd like sneak alcohol, and we didn't know anything about whiskey, anything, so we just took the bottle that was gin and just drank gin straight, and we just get like
I think that has a lot to
dizzy.
do with what you end up liking, because my mom always had tequila. So anytime I would like sneak it, it would be tequila. And I hate tequila now because I'm
Yeah.
sure we just drink it.
OD'd on it when
Yeah.
yeah.
that's probably me with vodka. I can't think of a specific thing, but I don't know why else I wouldn't like vodka.
Yeah,
Vodka's
maybe
pretty
is your
plain.
mom a vodka drinker or your dad?
Oh yeah. My mom. No, I don't know. I was
Well,
gonna
it
say
sounds like
something
maybe
horrible, and
tequila for
I
her
pulled
too.
back at the last
The
second.
margaritas.
But Johnny said the White Claw thing, and when I was at his house, literally, he opens up the fridge, like, oh, can I? And what do you call those
Cayman
drinks?
Jack.
Captain
Those?
Jack's.
No, it's Cayman Jack. That's the brand.
Cayman.
It's like the pre-mixed. They have mojitos,
Oh,
margaritas.
the like canned cocktails.
Yeah, they're so good. Oh my god. And my wife wanted us what are they called? Palamos? I don't know what they're. There's some grapefruit mixed drink.
I know what it's
Pomona.
called. And the fact that you said
wow.
it wrong, so
You-
Paloma.
I know, you said
It's
it
a
so
Paloma.
wrong.
That's you're right.
I was
yeah,
like, I
Paloma,
can't even
that's
think
what
of what it is because you're saying it so wrong. But Paloma.
So we got the ingredients to like make our own, and I'm just like, I wish this was the Cayman Jacks in a can. They do it right. They do it good.
You prefer the canned ones now?
That's
Wow.
right. It's like what do they always say? Nobody makes a burger like McDonald's, right? Isn't that what they say?
McDonald's says that, yeah, but that's,
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else does.
Do you think that you can make food better than like restaurants now?
Like which restaurants?
Well, just like take them as like at
That's a personality. That's the answer to that is depends on what type of personality you have. I say there's no way in hell you can make a double quarter pounder better than McDonald's. Okay,
I
But
know.
my wife would be like, "Oh my god, McDonald's, fucking gross. I want
Yeah.
to raise the cow myself, kill it, eat its meat."
But I'm saying like just the median restaurant,
Okay.
like whatever that is, like just let's say a brewery kitchen, right?
Okay.
Where they're gonna have burgers and wings and fries, and then maybe
Okay.
some crappy salad and maybe an entree like a chicken thing or a steak thing. Do you think like I think the pandemic opened my eyes to like how good you can actually make food if you try, and that when you eat at a restaurant, you think it's better than it is because you're sitting down, they're bringing it to you.
Yeah, you didn't have to do anything.
You didn't have to do anything. They put it on a nice plate. You're having fun because you're out. But when we ordered so much takeout in the pandemic, and it's like you look at it and you're like, oh, this is shit. I could do this, you know? And I kind of think, maybe this is arrogant or whatever, but I think I could make, I mean, I can't make McDonald's, Johnny, because
There's drugs in
that's a
that.
different thing. But it's just like, what, I don't know. You can't
We don't
compete. I can't make trash the way they make trash. Like, it's just, there's no way. But I think like with just the average kitchen, with how fast they've got to like turn everything out and they have a profit margin they have to hit. Like if you're making a steak, there's definitely some like high-end steak houses. I can't make a steak as good as their steak. But like I can make probably a better steak than like the median restaurant can, because they can't afford to put the time and ingredients into it that you might. What do you think about that?
I would agree with that for certain things. For myself personally, for certain things, yes.
For clams?
For clams. You know what? I'm actually not great at figuring those out. But anything on the grill, I'm pretty good. During the pandemic, we got a house, and then I got to make my little barbecue area. And so once you have a little area, you're like, well, I got to try to grill everything,
Yeah.
So I was practicing, but just for us. So I'm not making a million of them at the same time, even though we did have people over a couple times. But yeah, so certain things, I think, for sure. And my fiance is a really good cook. And so there's certain restaurants that I'm like, why did we even come here? You would have made it better than this,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff I think that she can cook that it's like, we're pretty picky about restaurants sometimes for that reason. A lot of a restaurant is just going so you don't have to do anything, but still.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's
it's
it.
all about the laziness and
Okay. I don't know why I brought that up. I forgot.
Well, can we always come to food? Your subconscious was like, we have not talked about food yet. We have not talked about food yet.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. You hadn't worked in McDonald's.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot McDonald's. Well, and you're right about not being able to make fast food the way that it is. There's a show on HBO that has like 3 like professional chefs that have been on, whatever, they're like winners of Top Chef and all that, and they take fast food items, and the first round they have to recreate it like as close as possible, and it's really hard for them to do. Like they have a really hard time. The next one they like remix it and like do a different version of it, so that's easier and more high end for them. But the actual like replication, because there's like some comic or actor,
the same ingredients that the fast food place uses.
I mean, they're given all, their whole kitchen. And so if it's a burger, then they have like ground whatever. And so they'll do that.
That's right.
They'll do that. They'll go,
rat.
That's it. That's true. They'll bite it and they'll go, okay, they'll try to put in the different kinds of meats instead of just being like, oh, it's ground beef or it's this. Like they try to put in different kinds to make it taste more like that. And they have a really hard time doing it. So I don't know. I mean, it's probably not even real stuff that's actually going in there. So if you just be like, here's every ingredient, they're like, well, it's not whatever chemical they've put in this, but they have a hard time doing that. So that actually seems like it would be more difficult than just making a better burger than the diner next door.
That's why I think like fast food should be the forefront of the like Beyond Meat industry, or like, how like eventually there for environmental reasons or whatever, we need to move away from beef and stuff. I'm like, fast food's a perfect place to put in like fake meat or soy meat or whatever, because you're not there for the burger. Like the actual meat part, you want the way the bun and the cheese and the pickle and everything gets smashed together and the grease and the grill. You want that whole thing and the fries and all that. The actual burger part is so thin. If you look like a McDonald's hamburger, even the double quarter pounder or whatever, it's still like, it's not a quarter pounder anymore. There's no way.
Yeah, well, that's why they started doing. There's like triple cheeseburgers or whatever, and it's because
That's
like,
why you have to
that's like
get Dave's
one
triple.
patty. Yeah, normally. Well, there was that whole there was controversy about Taco Bell being like their meat was only like 15% meat or something. It was like 85% something else, and I was like, yeah, why not make the whole thing 80 or
Yeah,
it's something
get
else?
the 15%
Why
out.
get the meat out?
That's
Go
right.
the other way.
It's
Get
holding
the meat
them
out of
back.
there. Yeah, they have a
Take
few.
the leap.
Because like Burger King has a Impossible Whopper, and
That's
then
right.
Del Taco did some like whatever Beyond Taco meat.
Yeah.
And I think I still get the Impossible Whopper sometimes just because maybe it makes me feel better about myself. I don't know, but it tastes the same.
Yeah.
Does it taste the same?
It really does. Like, yeah, it genuinely tastes the same to me. And I feel like if they're not, because there's already some mixture of whatever weird shit is in there. As long as that stuff's still in there, take the meat out, then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I gotta do that. I gotta try it.
Here's the one mistake they're making. They just shouldn't tell us.
Yeah.
Just take all the meat out, do it for the world, and then don't tell us, and no one will ever know. And then eventually that'll just be what we think meat tastes like, and everyone will be over it. They won't care.
Yes.
Because the telling me stops, that gives me hesitation. I have a hard time.
You got placebo effect.
Yeah, the Chipotle has the soy rizo or chorizo that's not real pork or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was like, man, I should get that. And then I just hesitate. The last minute, I don't do it because I'm scared. I'm like, what if I don't? What if it
I
sucks
think-
and then I'm stuck?
When the alternatives before, 10 years ago, something were terrible compared to what they are now. And so I
Yeah.
still have that same like tofurkey
Yes.
thing
yeah.
in my head where I'm like, that's disgusting. I don't want any of that. So anytime there's like a replacement, I still have that stigma of like, oh, well, it's going to taste terrible, but it's just not true. We had the I think it was the Impossible burgers, and they have like patties, and I put them on the grill, and they like made them so that they bleed, and like
Yeah.
it's weird, but it's definitely like beet juice because it is a little bit darker red, but I mean, if you really were just like, I'm an animal and I need to think that this is what this is, you would, and it tastes the same. We give it to our son and he doesn't notice until afterwards, and we're like, did you know that was plant-based? He also doesn't really like meat, so it works out, but yeah, he like, you don't really notice. So it's so much different now, and I think so much better.
We'll do the Beyond Burgers at like Costco or whatever, and I never did the ones back in the day because it just it just didn't work. But these are like good.
Yeah. So if you did just not tell people, they
Don't
probably
tell
wouldn't.
people.
The amount of people that would notice is not that many.
You know how it's funny because you're saying how they put the beet juice in just to have the blood come out of it, which is great. But like sometimes when you buy eggs, I don't know if you buy like the high-end eggs, they'll tell you like a little story about where the chickens. That's what they should do for like this fake cow grew up in Wisconsin and
it was happy, free range.
was
Don't
happy,
worry.
lived a great life, free range. His name was Bessie.
And then it got hit
murdered
by a car.
for your burger. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh,
Now
no.
I can eat it.
Yeah.
Put little
I think you're onto
shards
something.
of fake bone in it. Like, oh, there's a little bit of bone in this meat.
Ah,
Good.
good. Okay.
That's an
Yeah.
animal.
Have they done that yet with like chicken wings? Is there like because I know they have, like whatever, cauliflower wings or
Yeah.
stuff like that, but have they done anything that like has a bone in it?
I don't know. That would, yeah, because that's like the half the fun of eating wings is like
Yeah.
the either like pulling. My wife thinks I'm disgusting because I'm so good, whether it's a drum or a flat. Like once I learned, so like the drum, obviously you just like can yank it
Right.
off, no problem, get all the chicken off the bone. But like when it's a flat, once I learned the technique of like you snap the middle, pull it apart, and then like like
Yeah.
Fred Flintstone
Like a
and the
cartoon,
skeleton
yeah.
comes
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Once I learned that, I was like off to the races on wings, and I'm like, I leave no chicken on those bones. Like when you do, you look at it, it is like Fred Flintstone or whatever. So,
Yeah.
and she just thinks, and then she eats wings. There's like chicken everywhere left. I'm like, oh, it's such a disgusting to me. But why did I bring that up? Oh, I don't know.
For a bone, if there was like a
that's
fake
the fun.
bone
That's the-
situation,
Yeah, that's the fun of eating wings. So like they should come up with like some sort of like, I don't know, fiberglass bones or something that's not edible, but the fake chicken can sit on.
Yeah. At times probably a lot of work, but still, I just wondered if they had.
Come
I think
on.
I've heard of like sugar something type of bone, like a fake, but I do think it like you could eat it if you wanted to, kind of thing. I don't know.
I guess
Should make
if
it
you-
out of those what are those Licka sticks things? Those hard sugar
Oh
sticks.
yeah,
Those are like bone.
fun dip.
Yeah, Fun Dip, that's right.
Like a stick.
Licka stick.
Just like candy canes. Ooh, peppermint and barbecue sauce goes together.
Yeah, exactly. Sweet.
My Christmas
Right.
wings.
Like a stick was funny to me. Anyways.
Lick a
Some
stick.
marketing
Yeah.
problems on
I was
Licka.
going to say somebody that's either an off-brand or somebody came up with that and they're like, let's call it Fun Dip instead. Let's not.
No, you don't know. Sometimes there's regional differences in the
Yeah.
Midwest,
Yeah.
And Johnny grew up with stuff that we've never heard of.
Yeah, maybe. Do you have like a stick?
No, now that you say Fun Dip, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what it was. That was my Carl's Jr. to the, what is it, Hardee's?
Hardee's,
Hardee's,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Ugh.
All right.
I
Good topics. Good
I'm
topics.
hungry.
Thank you. Yeah, we got some good. Everyone needs just their room temperature gin.
That's right.
Sit back at Monica's restaurant. We got room temperature gin, clams, some fake
And
wings
fake-
Yeah.
with
We won't
fun
tell you
dip sticks
anything.
inside. A Michelin star written all over it.
Yeah, it's innovative.
Do you have? Wait, Johnny, did you have anything you want to jam in, or what do you think?
No, I don't.
Can't follow those.
Save it. Let's save it for the post show.
I'll save it.
Monica, do you have anything you'd like? We talked about your podcast,
Mhm.
but is there anything you'd like to promote? This will come out on
A week from
Monday
yesterday,
next week.
21st.
Sometimes that trips
Oh.
us up. I'm just saying that because we've promoted things many times here
That have been in the past.
And it's been wrong.
after.
Well, hopefully this is correct. Yeah, you can see me live all over the place. My social media is just my name at Monica Nevi. I think maybe Monica Nevi Comedy on TikTok, but everything else is just my name. My website's monicanevi.com. There's a calendar on there. I've started producing a quarterly show at a theater where I'm from in Renton, Washington. And our next show is the 26th of March. So it's Saturday, and Jenny Zagrino's headlining. So if you're in the Seattle, Northwest, Renton, wherever area, come check it out. It's a really beautiful theater and we want to keep it going. So yeah, it's a good lineup. I host it, and I already asked Andrew to do it once and he said no. So whatever.
Well, yes.
And
but
then
it's
he did it
because-
saying, "Oh, I got a lot of points. I got a lot of points."
Yeah, once I build up those Bonvoy points, I'll be there.
Not that far, but yeah, just go online and then you find stuff. That's how it works, right? I don't know.
Yeah. Just go online, everybody. Google it.
Google
You Google it.
Yeah.
What do you got, Andrew?
Oh, nothing. Oh, no. Next, after this, I'm in the Olympia on March 31st. Come to that show. Olympia, March 31st.
All right, April 1st, Menominee Falls Brews Tap House, and then the Medford Theater in Medford, Wisconsin on Saturday the 2nd.
There's a Medford, Wisconsin?
There's a Medford,
Yes.
Oregon.
There's a Medford, Oregon that has a
Oh,
long-running road gig that Monica and I, I'm sure, have both done too many times.
Oh,
That
yeah.
also might be
Oh, yeah.
haunted. I would just
Yeah.
guess. I don't know. But
There's
well, I
is
hope there's
Medford,
one in
Wisconsin nice?
I've never. I hope. I.
you've never been there.
I don't know.
All right.
I should
Well,
probably double check.
the one in Oregon sucks. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening to the Cavalry.
The Cavalry.
We're about to do our post-show banner. So remember, you got to be on the Patreon to listen to that. Monica, thanks for being here.
Thank you for
And,
having me, and thanks for your support of Gin.
Yes. Thank you, Gin, our
That's what
sponsor.
we do.
Yes, sponsored by Gin.
And that's it. Thank you for listening to the Cavalry.
The Cavalry.